Hello, everyone. This is Greg Matheson, the Chief Operating Officer of Newfound Gold. Today is October 15th, and we're going to take a look at the Keats and Lotto zones and the ongoing 2020 drill program for Newfound Gold Corp. I would encourage everybody watching this video to go ahead and read the following disclaimer language that we've put in here regarding some of the forward-looking statements, as well as some statements regarding the mineralized intercepts that we're releasing to the public, and as well encourage everybody to visit our CDAR site and look for further disclosures. Just to give everybody an introduction to the 2020 drilling program, we had started drilling at the Queensway North project in the middle of August at the Little Power Line zone, and subsequently had moved the drilling program to the Keats and Lotto trend announced on September 9th of this year. We had also discussed that Newfound Gold Corp plans to conduct an initial 12,000 meters of drilling along the east side of the Appleton fault zone as part of this 100,000 meter drilling program that was initiated in August. Today, I'd like to discuss some of the initial findings of the program, especially the first results that we've received out of the Lotto zone and the promising gold assays that came out of that work. As a brief introduction to the Appleton fault zone as well, I would reference everybody back to some of the prior videos we've posted on our website. Looking at the Keats zone, which is located just north of the Trans-Canada Highway and along the Appleton fault on the east side, the Keats zone occurs within a linear fault structure that exists roughly 200 meters east and parallel to the Appleton fault zone. The zone was originally discovered in 1999, where surface prospecting had recovered a very high-grade gold boulder. We still don't know the source of this boulder, but drilling to date has indicated that we've got a strike extent on the Keats baseline fault of roughly 300 meters. The company to date has conducted 2 drill holes in 2019 and 9 drill holes so far in 2020. All of the assays from this work are still pending from the 2020 drilling program. As some may recall, in 2019, the initial hole that we had drilled into this zone had yielded a intercept of 19 meters, grading almost 93 grams per ton gold. And a similar width of mineralization in drill hole number 2 had yielded 1.54 grams per ton gold over 12 meters. Both of these intercepts are roughly 65 to 70 meters below the historical drilling that had occurred at the project. Both of the holes in 2019 did contain visible gold, although drill hole number 1 was showing significantly stronger mineralization. Work is ongoing to expand this zone, and we look forward to releasing some results of the current drilling program shortly. The goal of the program is to target very high-grade mineralization, as was intersected in 1901, where we can look for a large number of ounces within a relatively small volume of rock. Introducing everybody to the Lotto zone, which is located approximately 2 kilometers north of the Keats zone, has a similar history to the Keats zone, as it was discovered in 1999 by prospecting, where the prospectors had recovered a number of high-grade surface grab samples, highest of which yielded 934 grams per ton. And subsequently, trenching was conducted in 1999, exposing 3 areas of known mineralization at surface. Historically, there has been some drilling at this location, although it's been over a very short strike length, with much of the drilling targeting just slightly below the surface veins. 14 holes in total have been drilled at the zone, including 5 by Newfound Gold so far in 2020. The company has only received assays for the first of these drill holes and released the results of this assays on October 2nd of 2020. NFGC 20-17 was the drill hole name and yielded 2 rather broad intercepts near surface, the first of which graded 41.2 grams per ton over 4.75 meters, and the second intercept graded 25.4 grams per ton gold over 5.15 meters. Looking further at the overall layout of the intercepts, as you can see, the intercept starts at roughly 35 meters below in the downhole depth, and the second intercept starts around 56 meters downhole. The second intercept actually occurs within a broader 10 gram per ton interval, and both of the intervals intersected mineralization above 100 grams per ton. Looking at more of the geologic context of where these 2 zones are, what's most significant about this is the linkages that we see and the similarities that we see between the 2 zones. They share a roughly similar stratigraphic position in relation to the overall Appleton fault zone. Both are roughly 200 meters to the east and occurring along and within a lineal fault structure, which we suspect to be the same fault structure. And this is broadly supported by a historical geophysical survey and induced polarization survey that shows a chargeable response that has a very close correlation to the Keats baseline fault within the known extents of that fault in the Keats zone. That same structure's traceable to the north and actually projects very close to the known location of the Lotto zone, which would exist within the hanging wall of that fault. When we drilled drill hole 20-17, we had intersected several mineralized zones, and only 2 of these zones have been released to date with assay results. The third zone that we had intersected is believed to be a fault structure that's very similar to the Keats baseline fault and is coincident with that same chargeable zone identified in the induced polarization survey. The final 2 mineralized zones that we had intersected are actually adjacent to the principal Appleton fault. And this is significant as no mineralization to date has been identified along the Appleton fault, and assays are pending for all 3 of these other intercepts. Of particular note on this map is the intersection here in drill hole 1901 along the known extents of the Keats baseline fault. The intercepts that we've recently released from drill hole 20-17 at the Lotto zone. And of further interest is the intercepts that we had received in drill hole NFGC 19-03 at the Dome zone in 2019. This intercept graded 16.5 grams per ton over 6.1 meters. And we're looking at a very similar situation to both the Lotto and Keats zone, and we're starting to recognize some similarities and connection between all of the fault structures that lie east of the Appleton fault. Looking more closely at the location of the drill hole in 20-17, we can see here that the two mineralized zones correspond roughly to two mineralized zones that were intersected in a historical drill hole drilled in 2000. What's significant is the grades that we've encountered in this drill hole are significantly higher than what was intersected in the 2000 drilling, and the company believes there's a variety of reasons why the assay values show a difference here. As at the Keats zone, the high-grade gold mineralization at Lotto appears to display an epizonal style of mineralization. This has further implications as we continue to compare this deposit and contrast this deposit against the Swan zone at the Fosterville mine in southern Australia. And assays, as I mentioned, remain pending for the additional zones that we had intersected within drill hole 20-17. 20-17 is only 354 meters long, but is actually the deepest drill hole ever conducted at the Appleton fault zone. Looking more visually at the intercept in drill hole 20-17 and contrasting that with the intercept in drill hole 19-01, we can see here that the broad vein set in 19-01 and showing again a very broad vein set in the intercept in 20-17, along with a secondary intercept in the center of this set of drill core boxes. There are some lesser zones that were not released within the current press release. Looking at the style of mineralization here and why we believe that this supports a epizonal style of mineralization, in particular are the open cavities that we see within the zone. And this was extremely evident when we saw these large vugs and crystal growth phases within the vein itself. Again, similar to the mineralization that's shown at the Fosterville mine in southern Australia, visible gold's quite common within the vein, both as fine disseminations and occasionally coarser pieces of gold. To the left, we can see the gold that was intersected at 36 meters depth, and again on the right, we can see a splash of gold along one of these stylitic fractures within the veins at 61 meters depth. As mentioned, there's a disseminated component to the gold mineralization here, and we see specks of gold scattered throughout the veins. Again, very typical of this style of mineralization, and the company continues to be encouraged by what it's seeing in the drill cores here at the Lotto zone with the release of the drill hole assays from 20-17. I would encourage everybody to visit our website for further information. Our stock ticker is NFG on the Toronto Venture Exchange. Anybody wishing for further information can reach out to Craig Roberts at the email listed below.